Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Tuesday evening, November 5, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are on the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, which is August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below, letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And we can see that as of the latest update that just came out at 6:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this just came out, about a good, let's say 13 minutes ago, if my calculations are correct. We still see that we have Tropical Storm Rafael right here to the west of the island. We have that code yellow right here to the northeast of the Caribbean that's expected to move westward and possibly develop in that hatched area to the north of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. It has a 30% chance of cyclone formation. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images before the sun went down, we can make out these entities. We can see, I believe these right here are the clouds associated with what's to come of that system that's expected to push into the southwestern Atlantic to the north of Hispaniola and Puerto Rico and possibly develop. And we can also make out the clouds associated with the tropical storm Rafael. Some of the clouds still across portions of Jamaica to the south of us, to the east of us. Lots of rainfall from the system still to come. If we take a look back at what the Hurricane Center is stating regarding this hatched area, they've stated, let us read, a trough of low pressure is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms east-northeast of the Leeward Islands. Portions of this system are forecast to move westward during the next day or so and could form a low pressure near the northern Leeward Islands by Thursday. Afterward, some slow development of this system is possible during the latter part of the week, while it moves generally westward over the southwestern Atlantic. And we see that they've given the system a 10% chance of cyclone formation within the next 48 hours and a 30% chance of cyclone formation within the next 7 days. Alright, so let us focus our attention on Tropical Storm Rafael. Let's reload these images that we have the very latest. Alright, so there we go. So as of their latest update that just came out at 7 p.m., the system is still packing maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour. So that still makes it a tropical storm, but it's definitely getting closer to hurricane status. 70 miles per hour is only 4 miles per hour shy of becoming a category 1 hurricane. So it's a high-end tropical storm, definitely closer to category 1 hurricane than to tropical depression status for sure. As of their latest update, it's moving towards the northwest, now at 15 miles per hour. We saw what it was doing throughout the day today. It was 5 miles per hour, then it was 7, then it was 11, then it was 12. Now it's 15 miles per hour. So it's definitely moving a bit faster. We still have hurricane warnings up for the Cayman Islands, considering that it's still to the south of those areas. It's expected to push off towards the northwest and affect the western coastline, or western Cuba in general is expected to cross over the mainland. And we see the hurricane warnings up in the red. They also have tropical storm warnings up in the blue. We also see that they've discontinued the tropical storm warning for Jamaica and put some up for the Florida Keys. We also have tropical storm watches up in the yellow for east central Cuba. The system is expected to become a hurricane. I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a hurricane tonight, maybe 10 p.m., if not tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. We see that it's expected to continue to be a hurricane as it pushes into the Gulf of Mexico and then downgrading back to a tropical storm as we head into Saturday. If we take a look at the track of this system, we saw exactly what it did it came from out of the southern Caribbean, pushed northeastward, then it started to move northward, then it started to move more northwestward, and then it started to move northwest. And we saw that it definitely brought with it the tropical storm force winds. But let's talk about the track for a second. I'd like to highlight that between the time frame from November 1 to November 10, and this is based on data from 1851 to 2023, these are the spots that we've had tropical systems form, all of these yellow dots. And we can see Jamaica here just for reference. All of these represent where we've had systems forming, and we see many of them coming to the north into portions of Jamaica for sure. And more than likely that was before many of our generation in general, way back when, since records began in 1851. And more than likely, considering that this is data based on 1851 to 2023, more than likely they're going to be adding this system starting from this area. They're going to be adding it, so more than likely when the maps are updated and we're looking at them next year, when we're talking about the 2025 hurricane season, we're going to be seeing this yellow dot that is Rafael and the track that it took. As it relates to the tropical storm force winds, we saw what it did. Most of the tropical storm force winds were felt especially across central and western parishes. Okay, those were the spots. And we know central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex, like St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. Western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland, and St. Elizabeth. So that was exactly what took place. But we're going to be going out to the next 168 hours just to see what Rafael is going to be doing at the end of the next 7 days, as well as what the other system that has a low chance of development to the north of Hispaniola is going to be doing as well. So we're going to be looking at the Euro first, and we're going to be focusing our attention on the timestamp right here at the top, all the way out to the 168 hours. And we're going to be focusing our attention on this portion of the basin in general, all the way from the main development region into the Caribbean, as well as in the Gulf. We're watching the Gulf because Rafael is going there, and we're watching this area right here because the other system is going there as well. So let's go out in time. First of all, we see what's expected 12Z on Wednesday, which is actually 7 a.m. We see that Rafael should be right here, closing in on the western portions of Cuba. We still have a lot of moisture across portions of Jamaica, stretching all the way into the eastern Caribbean. As we continue to go into Thursday, we see what's taking place. 9Z on Thursday is actually 4 a.m. The system, that's Rafael, should be right here to the northwest of Cuba. You can still see that we still have some amount of moisture to be receiving early morning on Thursday. We see a lot of moisture associated with the other system to the northeast of the Leeward Islands for sure, getting ready to come in. Continuing out in time, we see what exactly is taking place. Rafael definitely heading into the central portion of the Gulf of Mexico, and more than likely whatever happened with this system seems to be coming into portions of the Bahamas, if not Cuba. And we see that there's a lot of moisture that's expected across the central to the eastern Caribbean either way. Let us quickly wrap this up at the next 168 hours, and we'll stop it right there. At the end of the 168 hours, this is 12Z on Tuesday, November 12, which is actually 7 a.m. And by that time, we saw exactly what Rafael did. It went, I believe, inland, or it looks like it dissipated right here to the south of the Gulf states right there of the US. More than likely, wind shear is going to be ripping it apart. But what I'd like to highlight is the amount of moisture that's expected across the Caribbean, from the western to the central and southeastern Caribbean. You even see some kind of L somewhere down here. Who knows? Let's see what the GFS is showing at the end of the next 7 days, because maybe the hurricane center within the next 7 days might do another code yellow, different from the one that we see to the north of Hispaniola. So let's continue out in time on the GFS first of all, as we head into Wednesday, 12Z on Wednesday is actually 7 a.m. We see the system closing in on Cuba, that's Rafael. We see the moisture associated with that other system that has a low chance of development to the northeast of the Leeward Islands. And we still see a lot of moisture into portions of Jamaica. So we might still get on some amount of isolated showers. Alright, look at what's happening at 48 hours out. This is actually 18th on Thursday, it's actually 1 p.m. We see Rafael somewhere right here to the west of Key West in Florida, to the northwest of Cuba, and apparently the GFS is a bit more robust in terms of the intensity than the Euro. What else is new? That's been the case even with Rafael. So this is nothing new, but we definitely see it. Maybe this could be the next name on the list. The next name on the list after Rafael is Sierra. So who knows? Maybe the Euro is downplaying the intensity, or maybe the GFS is overdoing the intensity like it has been doing for Rafael thus far. Let's see if the Euro caves to what the GFS is showing and it shows more of a solution like this later on, or if the GFS caves to what the Euro is showing and shows more of a weaker system. Either way, when we continue to go out in time, we see they're basically going the same spot. The Euro had the system going to portion of the Bahamas and Cuba right there. GFS showing something similar with a more formidable system. And then we're just going to be wrapping up at 168 hour mark right there. And we start to see some consensus in terms of the moisture. We see an increase in moisture stretching all the way from the eastern to the central and western Caribbean. What is this to the north of Colombia? Some kind of L. Let us see exactly what happens. Keep in mind that this is valid for Tuesday, November 12th. So you can mark it on your calendar right now to see if something is going to be down there in the Caribbean by that time. So we know we're going to be staying updated to see exactly what unfolds, and if the consensus continues with some kind of maybe moisture bringing forth some kind of area of low pressure, the Hurricane Center is going to highlight it. I don't even want to go farther than the 168 hours because both supercomputer models are not really reliable after the 7 days has passed, because they always show something different with each and every run that comes out every 6 hours. Alright, so let's continue. So regardless of what takes place, this is all of the rainfall that's expected from now all the way up until Tuesday, November 12th. We see the burgundies representing 2 inches of rainfall. We see the purples, the pinks that represents anywhere from 3 all the way up to 4 inches of rainfall. The Euro has it stretching from the Eastern Caribbean into portions of Puerto Rico, the US and British Virgin Islands, Dominican Republic, Jamaica. Some of this rainfall has to do with what's happening now regarding Rafael. So don't think that it's more to come like later on down the road. More than likely it's just in the immediate future from the leftovers from Rafael. We also see a lot of rainfall in store for a portion of Nicaragua, sections of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia in the mix. And when we take a look at the GFS, it's something similar, but most of the moisture associated with the GFS is squashed to the south. More of the purples and the pinks represents the 3 inches to the 4. More so across the Windward Islands into the ABC Islands right here, coming into the Central Caribbean. And we see the areas across Central America that's going to be getting a lot of rainfall regardless. So we definitely have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt. Even the close-up of Jamaica in terms of the next 168 hours shows the rainfall totals. And the majority of these rainfall totals are basically what we're expecting regarding Rafael in the near future. So within, let's say, the next 24 hours, tonight into tomorrow for sure. Clearly we see southern Jamaica getting in on the brunt of the weather with the oranges, the reds, the purples that represent anywhere from 50 all the way up to 150 millimeters of rainfall. Euro definitely showing a lot more rainfall to come. GFS a bit more reserved, considering that we've been getting the rainfall, and although we have a lot more rainfall to get, GFS definitely on the reserve side for the next 168 hours, showing more of the yellows, the oranges, and the pinks that represents anywhere from 30 all the way up to maybe 100 millimeters of rainfall. So we'll see exactly what unfolds, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted over the next 7 days with what occurs. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see a ridge of high pressure right here across the waters to the east of the United States. We see the blue spiked lines right here associated with frontal systems. Attached to troughs, we see the broken orange lines that represent some troughs. That's the trough that the hurricane center is watching. Another trough right here to the north of Hispaniola heading into the Bahamas and into the eastern Gulf. We see another trough right here. We have the symbol associated with Rafael to the west of the island. And we have a tropical wave right here to the northeast of South America, intertwined with the intertropical convergence zone right here. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can definitely make out all of these entities. We see the clouds associated with the frontal system, stretching all the way from the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down to the waters of the southwestern Atlantic, affecting the Bahamas right here, all of which is attached to that system that has a low chance of development to the northeast of the Caribbean. We can make out the clouds associated with Rafael, lots of clouds, showers and thunderstorms plaguing anywhere from the Cayman Islands, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, getting in on some of the bad weather. And we see the other tropical wave right here to the northeast of South America, intertwined with the clouds of the intertropical convergence zone right here to the southeast of it. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Tuesday, November 5. So in yesterday's video, we highlighted that would have been getting rainfall across most parishes. It's a tropical storm, so most parishes would have gotten rainfall. We stated here in our post, brace yourself, Jamaica. Tonight into Tuesday, November 5, 2024 might just be nature's way of giving you an impromptu water park. Prepare for a tropical downpour extravaganza that could potentially turn streets into rivers and backyards into lakes, and so it did. And by the way, we've already explained eastern, central, and western parishes. We know eastern parishes, by the way, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey. So Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. We know northern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on top, like Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland. Southern parishes, you know, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? I actually woke up at 2, a little after 2 this morning. And immediately after I woke up, I went live on YouTube, and I was live for a majority of the morning all the way up to little after midday today. So for those persons who missed that, I'm sorry. But before that, I highlighted the Cuban Doppler radar images on our Twitter page. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the Cuban Doppler radar images, and it highlighted the greens and the yellows represent some moderate, as we can see by the key on the right, to strong or heavy rainfall in the yellows. We saw that definitely plaguing sections of some southern parishes, anywhere from St. Elizabeth eastward, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, sections of Portland. And we also highlighted the live stream that you guys were being invited to, for sure, where we showed most of these graphics, most of these maps that we usually show in these videos. For sure, I'm grateful that many of you guys actually tuned into the live stream, and I promise that I'm definitely going to be doing more of those live streams, especially when we have a system that's threatening our island in the short term. And I also made some promises in the live streams that from now on, the first person to leave a comment on these YouTube videos, like the one that you're watching right now, I'm going to be starting to issue phone cards, and this will begin on Monday, November 11th. So next week, Monday for sure, we're going to be starting that. So if you have a digital phone, if you comment on the video first, you're going to start getting credit just like that. Yes, I'm starting to give away credit just like that. We want to increase our community. We want to know that everybody is actually tuned in to Weather Jamaica. We want to keep everyone safe in general, because I really don't like it when persons are caught off guard. Persons are saying, what storm? A storm is coming. I can't believe that. Yeah, that's what I want to eliminate. I want to keep everyone in the know. We want to keep everyone safe. Another post that was made here was highlighting the Earth Cam feed that showed tropical storm Rafael battering western Jamaica for sure. We saw the rain and the wind that it was causing across this was Rick's Cafe in Negril in Westmoreland. Like, this area is usually calm, first of all. The western end is usually calm in general. So to see the water this rough, definitely quite unusual for sure. We saw the waves coming in for sure. Keep in mind that if you'd like to see this live stream, just visit the EarthCam website and search for Rick's Cafe. They have it streaming all day. And we also highlighted the fact that although the center of the tropical storm, Rafael, was to the west of Jamaica, we're still expecting more flood triggering rainfall from its spiral bands to continue this evening into tonight as well as into Wednesday morning. Look how huge the system is. This was posted at 1:45 p.m. But look how huge the system is. The area of circulation, the center of circulation was right there. But look at all of the clouds that were affecting Jamaica at that time. This is what we're referring to. We're still going to be getting in an activity. As a matter of fact, if we reload the latest images, let's look at the very latest one that just came out at, let's see, 10 UTC. So 0010 UTC is about the same as 7:10 p.m. So this just came out almost 20 minutes ago. We can definitely see what's taking place. Look at the clouds, quite an impressive system. For reference, here's Jamaica right here. Look at the area right here. This is the brunt of the matter, bearing down on the Cayman Islands as we speak. Definitely a strong tropical storm getting ready to become a hurricane. Definitely on the verge, as I stated before. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hurricane Center in our next update states that it's already a hurricane, if not tomorrow morning at 4. But what I want to highlight the most is the huge geography of the clouds stretching and covering the entire central Caribbean into portion of eastern Cuba, Haiti getting in on some of the thunderstorms, and Jamaica is right there in the middle. We're still going to be getting on some more of the clouds and the rainfall tonight into Wednesday for sure. Alright, so let's go back. So we highlighted the Earth Cam, we highlighted this satellite imagery, we also highlighted that at 2:40 p.m. the Cuban Doppler radar images were still showing some amount of rainfall coming in from the south, affecting especially southern Jamaica and pushing northward. Moderate to heavy rainfall for sure at that time. And finally, we highlighted the inundation that took place on the Flat Bridge. The river definitely was in spate, and we spoke about this morning in the live stream, and we saw the water levels rising, and I definitely called it, definitely saw that it was definitely going to be happening, and it did indeed happen. We see the water on top of the bridge for sure. Hopefully there's nobody who is stubborn enough to be walking through to get to wherever they want to go at all. We don't want to hear any bad news of anybody being washed away or anything like that for sure. So even if we take a look at the visible satellite images, we can't even make out that low level flow. I always see our clouds, white, some pop current popping up that could indicate the high cold cloud tops, the thunderstorms for sure, before all was said and done with the day and we started to lose the sunlight. And even the infrared satellite images were still showing a lot of high cold cloud tops, the greens, the yellows, oranges, the reds, the blacks, the grays. And we even started to see some thunderstorms coming in right here to the south of St. Elizabeth. Some of it was on land as well. And if we take a look here, highlighting what took place regarding Rafael. This is the infrared. This was what happened. We saw exactly what took place. The system was right in here and then it pushed all the way, and now it's right up in this location. And we can see that we're still getting in on that moist southerly or southeasterly flow across the island, and that's going to be the order of the night in general. If we take a look at earlier today in This is halfway through at what, 4:47. We saw that we're definitely getting in on that heavy rainfall for sure. Quite an interesting view, not to see many cars or people in halfway tree. That's definitely rare for sure, just to show that we're getting in on the bad weather. And once again, I'm highlighting the earth cam showing what was taking place at the Rick's Cafe right here. Look at the waves churning up and crashing into the area right here. Definitely bad weather. Tourists couldn't be out there at all today. Look at the heavy rain and the strong winds lashing the air. I believe the western parishes got the brunt of this system in general, and it's a shame considering that they were the ones who got in on the brunt of Beryl as well. So yeah, these things happen. Hurricanes, that's what hurricanes do. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the CIMH, that's the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does indeed paint a picture of where we had the rainfall today. Clearly stating that the heaviest rainfall was across portions of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrews, sections of St. Anne, sections of St. Mary, St. Catherine. I believe the St. Catherine part, especially considering how much rainfall is taking place. I've been hearing a lot of rainfall in Spanish Town, Portmore, and we saw what took place at the Bagwalk Gorge at the Flat Bridge. That's in Spanish Town as well. You can also see the rainfall right here. Some amount of heavy rainfall across sections of Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, as well as Hanover. Lots of rainfall in general. We know this map isn't 100% accurate in terms of the rainfall totals, but it does paint quite the picture of where we had that rainfall. We can definitely see that fashion more so from the south to the north as well. And we definitely have some video footage all over social media today of the destruction and the flooding. One here from This Is a Blast on YouTube, well, on Instagram as well as on Twitter, sorry. We can definitely see the flooding that was taking place. I believe this is the NCB branch on Windward Road in Kingston, if I'm not mistaken. You can definitely see the inundation right here for sure. Definitely some amount of flooding. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Turn around, don't drown. We don't want to be in a situation where our car is stalled out, can't be turned on or anything like that, and then the rainfall intensifies and then the flooding intensifies, and then we see that the vehicle is starting to be swept away. Cannot stress enough how important it is to always turn around. We also have TVJ News highlighting a lot that was taking place across the island today. One right here showing the flooding and the damage of roads. I believe this was a car that was stuck, according to TVJ. They stated residents in Big Pond, St. Catherine have been marooned after heavy rain associated with Tropical Storm Rafael caused severe flooding in the area. We have another news clip right here stating flooding in Halls Hall, Clarendon, and they've highlighted the area that was inundated. Another clip right here from TVJ News highlighting that the swamp ford in St. Thomas was impassable. When you guys see things like this, why would you even try to brave it? That is just ridiculous amounts of rainfall in general. And even if we take a look here, we even see Negril flooded once again. That is just ridiculous. Look at the entire area flooded because of Rafael. They definitely got some heavy rainfall and strong winds today. And we have another one right here highlighting down trees and flooding across sections of Westmoreland. I've said it before, Western Jamaica, especially Westmoreland, got the brunt of it today. Another report here highlighting the heavy rainfall that was taking place across sections of St. Elizabeth. Another one right here showing footage of a police station that was inundated in Green Acres, St. Catherine. This is just ridiculous. Something needs to be done about this. And I don't think this is the first time I've seen this happening at all. But we also have comments coming in here on our social media. One right here on our Twitter page, Joe Mar stating heavy rains and gusty winds in northern Clarendon. Right now, this was posted 15 hours ago. We also have Barry Moose stating light to moderate rain in Portmore, giving thanks. Keith Brown, only slight breeze and normal rain, but no power. JPSco still well at it again. I think they deliberately turn off the power. And if I actually take a look at the YouTube channel here. Let's see. I believe we definitely had some comments coming in on the YouTube platform after the live ended. Definitely had some comments coming in for sure. Let's see. Alright, so let's read some of these comments. Alright, here we go. Alright, so 4 hours ago we had Howard Gilroy stating it has been raining all day in Trenchtown. In fact, from very early this morning. We have Anne Maria Robinson stating the rain started in Thornton, St. Elizabeth, but it's not heavy now. We also have Dion stating St. Bess getting rain, winds down in South Jamaica. Any more? Anything else? Alright, another one from Everall stating lots of rain in southern Clarendon. Alright, and we also have Neil Davis. He's in northern St. Andrew. Heavy rain in his area. Rosalind Hyman. What were you saying about Veer Clarendon? Oh, you were asking. Sorry about that. That was when we were having the live stream. But more than likely, you guys were getting rainfall for sure, on and off. We have Granville stating rain and breeze in Ferry at that time. So that indeed confirms the rainfall on our YouTube page from some of our subscribers. Thank you very much for the comments for sure. So let's move on. Let's see what's happening right now. Let's take a look at the latest still image. Let's see what's currently happening across the island. So we just reloaded the image, and this is as of the latest update that just came out at 0Z25 UTC. So this just came out at 7:25 p.m. We can make out some thunderstorms. We see some sparkling white dots right here to the south of Westmoreland. We see the dark colors, the blacks, I believe that's grays. Definitely some pop-up thunderstorms here and there all across eastern Jamaica too. Let's see if we can match all of this with what we're seeing on the latest Cuban Doppler radar image. Let's reload this image as a matter of fact. Let it reload, give it a second. Let's see what's happening. First of all, at 6:30 we could see the center of circulation regarding Rafael right here to the south of Little Cayman. That's ridiculous. Alright, so it has reloaded. And I believe 7:30 p.m. is the latest Cuban Doppler radar image. And as of 7:30 p.m., we can definitely see that rainfall right there off the east coast of the island, eastern St. Thomas, eastern Portland. We can make out some rainfall right there across western Jamaica, St. Elizabeth, section of Westmoreland, Hanover. More than likely, maybe by the time this video is up, the weather has changed and there's a flip-flop. Maybe areas that are not getting rainfall right now will be getting rainfall, and areas that are getting rainfall at this time will not be getting rainfall. That's just going to be the order of the day. The order of the night, sorry. On and off, moderate, light to moderate to heavy rainfall, all courtesy of the spiral banding that southerly flow across the island, trying to spin and push everything into the center of the circulation that is Rafael. So flash flooding is still on the table, and as such the Meteorological Service of Jamaica has issued a flash flood warning, even though the island is no longer under a tropical storm watch. And we also see the Guantanamo Bay Cuban military radar confirming the rainfall across sections of the island for sure. We can definitely make out the images, the blues, the greens, the yellows represent some light to moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall. We also see that across the western peninsula of Haiti as well. We can make out the rainfall associated with Hurricane Rafael, most of which is affecting Little Cayman right now. We can make out that there are some isolated shores across Grand Cayman, but the heaviest rainfall and wind to the east of there. Definitely going to be missing there for sure. You can see the center of circulation as well associated with Rafael. You can see it clearing out, definitely calm in that center right now, as it definitely makes its way towards hurricane status. If we take a look at the latest from See Jamaica showing Flatbridge, what's happening right now, still see a lot of debris. I think we saw something similar when we had Beryl. Lots of debris coming down, inundating, blocking the roads. And the National Works Agency or the residents who live there are going to be having a lot of work to do as soon as the water resides. That's if we're not getting rainfall tomorrow. We'll see if we're still getting a lot of it. As of right now, I'm seeing on the Euro and the GFS a lot of on and off isolated showers. So we'll see if that actually makes an impact, or will the water actually recede. So it's definitely over the flat bridge right now. Lots of water running. There's no way anybody can pass or chance it. Please do not do that. We're definitely glad for this live stream. If you don't know by now, we have a partnership with this YouTube channel, that's See Jamaica. Subscribe to their channel. They show live streams of Halfway Tree, Flat Bridge, the Kingston Harbor, you name it, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So why wouldn't you subscribe? Subscribe today so that you don't miss out, just in case they install a camera near you. Alright, so taking a look at the temperatures right now, we can see about 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And by about 4 a.m. on Wednesday, temperature should have down to about 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, remaining 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. And you can see that we're still going to be getting that moist southeasterly flow across the island as the night progresses into the early Wednesday morning. If we take a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, unfortunately, this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Wednesday, which is actually 1 p.m. And look at this, the temperatures are definitely heating up. We see some yellows and some slight oranges encompassing Jamaica. That's representing anywhere from 1 all the way up to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures. So wherever it's not going to be raining, more than likely, lots of evaporation going to be taking place. Definitely going to be feeling the heat for sure. If it's going to be 1 to 2 degrees Celsius above normal temperatures, and we know the normal temperatures for the month of November are about 88 degrees Fahrenheit when calculated. That's about 31.1 degrees Celsius. We should be receiving anywhere from 31 to 33 degrees Celsius atmosphere for Jamaica's temperature on Wednesday. But we know the drill. We have many tips here to beat the heat. Always ensure that you seek shade when you're outside. If you're walking in the sun, don't be walking right out in the sun deliberately. Find the trees or maybe the buildings that are blocking out the sun in general. Try to eat fresh fruit, salads as well. Rest. Make sure you get enough sleep and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak. Take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always stay hydrated throughout the day. Drink water. Put away the sugary drinks. Drink water instead. I cannot stress enough how important that is. Our body is made up of a huge percentage of water for a reason. So replenish the body with more water than anything else. If we take a look at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on a Monday, we can make out the browns represent the Saharan dust stretching all the way from Africa across the main development region right here. But what we like about the Saharan dust right now is it's not that vigorous of a plume. If it was that vigorous of a plume right here, we would see more darker shades of browns. And we know the darker shades of browns would cause the hazy skies that would trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis, you name it. So right now we're glad that from North America all the way into the Caribbean, South America, into Central America, we are in the clear. Even although we know that the Saharan dust can choke off these systems, either way we're glad that we don't have the Saharan dust to make us sick at all. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, both the Euro and the GFS are still in consensus. The highest wave should be where we have Rafael to the north of the Cayman Islands affecting Cuba, anywhere from 2 all the way up to more than 6 meter wave heights. And we also have high wave heights in store for the waters to the north of the Leeward Islands, to the north of the Bahamas, stretching all the way up into the northern portion of North Atlantic, associated with the numerous troughs as well as the high pressure ridge that is sending a lot of strong trade winds all the way from the northern portion of North Atlantic, more so of an east-northeasterly or kind of northeasterly flow. We see the bright green, we see the yellows, that represents anywhere from 15 all the way up to 25 or maybe all the way up to 30 knots. But across the Caribbean, we clearly see more greens, lighter greens than anything else, averaging anywhere from 5 to 10 or maybe close to 15 knots at most. So it makes sense that majority of the Caribbean are going to be getting down the lighter shades of blues to darker shades of blues. That represents anywhere from 0.5 meter wave height all the way up to 1.5 meter wave height. So the fishers are definitely going to have a nice time out to sea. In terms of the close-up of Jamaica or the wind forecast, we can definitely make out that southern or southeasterly flow across the island tomorrow. So anything that comes off of the sea tonight into tomorrow. Definitely going to be bringing more of the rainfall to section of southern Jamaica from Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get the sun out tomorrow and we get that daytime heating. We could have some of the air piling up across section of some northern parishes to make way for some diurnal convection. Maybe some afternoon rainfall across section of some northern parishes. That's if this rainfall doesn't just move over from the southeast to the northwestern side of the island. We know that it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes we have some clouds that eventually become rain clouds, especially when we have that diurnal heat, well, that daytime heating for sure. So look out for that, especially during the afternoon hours. And with the upper level winds coming in from the north, all courtesy of the outflow from Rafael for tomorrow, it definitely could favor more of the rainfall across southern parishes if the high cool cloud tops are going to be blown off to the south as well. Alright, so let's just take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps now. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are valid for 9 p.m. this evening. Well, 9 p.m. tonight. We do see the Euro a bit more reserved, showing the lighter shades of blues, maybe some slightly darker shades of blues, especially across southern Jamaica. So anywhere from St. Thomas, Westward, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland. Look at the GFS. The GFS has been persistent all day with this huge blob of rainfall affecting sections of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine. We'll see how that goes. As of the latest infrared, not seeing much happening right now, and it's at almost 8 o'clock. So if something is going to be happening, well, it has to hurry if it's going to be happening. But I'm more inclined to believe what the Euro is showing than the GFS. Let's see the Doppler radar images. Not seeing much to the south of St. Thomas. Maybe some of this might make it its way and get even more robust so that this can validate at 9 p.m. We'll see how that goes. I'll tell you what happens at that time. Skipping ahead to about 3 a.m. we still see the blues that represent rainfall, even some greens in there across southern Jamaica, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. GFS showing something similar but a bit less robust. Don't see the greens, more so lighter shades of blues, especially across southern Jamaica, and it makes sense given that moist southerly flow. 7 a.m. not much change on the Euro, still southern Jamaica getting in on that rainfall. Some isolated showers on the GFS. We're starting to see more whites than anything else. That could definitely mean clear skies, so don't be surprised if you wake up tomorrow morning and you see the blue skies. If you see sunshine at all. Skipping ahead, 12 p.m. now. Let's see what's in store. Alright, so GFS has most of the island experiencing some whites by 12 p.m. We see the blues represent rainfall, however, maybe some isolated showers come from the south for a section of St. Catherine, Clarendon, and Manchester. Euro still more robust with the blues represent rainfall all across the southern half of the island. Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Thomas, incorporating section of Portland and St. Mary with some of the rainfall. But we don't see the consensus. The consensus is basically right here across St. Catherine, Clarendon, and Manchester. We'll see exactly what unfolds at midday on Wednesday. And then 3 p.m. now, we're starting to get in on some more consensus. The afternoon rainfall. We see the rainfall still plaguing portion of southern Jamaica, but by afternoon we start to get in on some of the action across northern Jamaica. Just as stated, it could be some daytime heating rainfall, especially across the northwest, maybe Hanover, St. James, getting in on some of the action, especially coastal areas of those parishes. And then by tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. on the Euro and 7 p.m. on the GFS, shows that we're going to be getting some amount of rainfall. Eastern Jamaica, southern Jamaica, some we're going to be getting rainfall. We see both the Euro and the GFS models are adamant about that for sure. We'll see how that goes, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted. Either way, both accumulated precipitation forecast maps showing the next 24 hours. Basically all the rain here from now up to 10 p.m. on Wednesday. We see the dark rays that represents 2 inches of rainfall. We see the purples and the pinks that represents all up to 3 to 4 inches of rainfall for a section of southern Jamaica. That's on the Euro. GFS not so robust at all. Euro has most of the rainfall for the island still to come. GFS showing that most of the rainfall has already fallen, but we're still in for a lot of rainfall, as you can see across section of St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew, and as we showed you earlier, it might be in an hour from now. So we'll see exactly what unfolds with that. And clearly, given all the rainfall that took place so far this month, all courtesy of Rafael, we're definitely going to be exceeding the expectations in terms of rainfall for the entire island. Usually in the month of November across Kingston, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the top, we usually receive up to 50 millimeters of rainfall. In Montego Bay, whose bar graph is being shown right here at the bottom, we usually receive close to 5 inches of rainfall. And you can do the calculations yourself. 50 millimeters of rainfall is about the same as 2 inches. 5 inches of rainfall is about the same as 125 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to know what your specific parish receives throughout the year in terms of rainfall on the rain gauge, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and they'll give you that information, and you can use this nice graphic here that I got from the Hurricane Center to do the calculations yourself. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. Alright, so we can see that the rest of the Caribbean has a lot of clouds, lots of showers affecting sections of Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, Haiti getting in on the action, so too Puerto Rico. We can see some rainfall across sections of the Windward Islands, so too section of Costa Rica, Panama, sections of southern Honduras, section of El Salvador, southern Guatemala getting in on the mix too, western Nicaragua. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we can definitely make out some rainfall in and around Puerto Rico for sure. More isolated shores inland, but we see the heavy rainfall in the yellows and the reds to the north of the island. If we load these images from earlier today, we can also make out some rainfall across eastern portions of the Dominican Republic. Not much rainfall in and around St. Martin, St. Kitts or Nevis, Montserrat or Guadeloupe or Dominica at all. But if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can definitely make out the blues, the greens, the yellows. That represents some amount of rainfall affecting sections of Barbados, some rainfall affecting sections of St. Vincent, the Grenadines right here. Scrolling down, not seeing much happening across Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe some isolated showers popping up now across the northeastern portion of the island of Trinidad. Some rainfall to the east of Tobago. Taking a look here at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can make out the spin and the rainfall associated with Rafael to the northwest of Jamaica. We can also make out some rainfall right here across the eastern Gulf of Mexico, some rainfall across sections of Colombia, some rainfall across section of northern Venezuela. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, we can see some of that rainfall across sections of Florida, sections of western Cuba, Jamaica. We see all of what it stands for on the key on the right. The greens, that represents all the way up to 0.12 an inch of rainfall, all the way up to the purples and the pinks, that represents all the way up to 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. So we're definitely going to be in for some amount of rainfall across sections of Cuba, sections of the Bahamas, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, section of the US and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Martin, St. Kitts and Nevis. Some rainfall definitely in store for Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, section of Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago. We see some rainfall in store for section of Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, southern Guatemala. Not seeing much across northern Guatemala, Belize or the Yucatan Peninsula, but we definitely see that rainfall in store for a section of the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, section of the Bahamas, section of the Turks and Caicos, and even Florida. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.